Ridiculous.
Welcome to the Steel City. Is everybody ready to go? Let's proclaim the greatest radio show.
Welcome, fans, to our Wild Card Weekend edition of the Friday Night Insight. I'm your host, Jim Sella. I'm in studio with Jay Dash. Dash, I want to thank you for coming in. Parlay, I want to I can't thank you, Parlay, for coming in because you took off today. You take off a lot of holidays, my friend.
Yeah, it's not fair to us.
Not at all. Just because I live in studio doesn't mean I'm always in studio.
Please believe I should have stayed home too. You'd be doing this solo.
If you stayed home, I'd be passed out on my couch.
Every pick would be a spread solo.
Believe that. A solo nothing. What do we got on our bill for today?
What are we going to talk about first? Big Ben?
Big Ben for MVP. What are you feeling?
You look around the league. Who had big years? DeMarco Murray had a big year.
Big Ben did.
Big Ben had a big year. Who
Good
else?
name.
Le'Veon Bell had a big year. To tell you the truth, why can't he be considered?
Well, I think he should be considered also.
Yeah, I think probably both of them should be. Who else had a big year? Aaron Rodgers had a pretty good season.
Yeah.
Peyton Manning looked good for most of the year.
Brady had a good year.
Yeah, Brady.
Gronk had a good year. A lot of people were saying Tony Romo deserves MVP consideration.
Yeah, he's had a good year too. There's a lot of quarterbacks that had a good year.
Russell Wilson, maybe.
Yeah, it's hard to give it to him. He did it with his legs, so the numbers aren't there for a quarterback.
I hate him, so I wouldn't give it to him if he led the league in every stat. But
I don't know. Yeah, Ben and Bell should both be in the conversation to me. I think, actually, Murray and Bell might be the only two running backs that are worthy of it. Maybe outside chance Forte. I don't know.
Yeah. Forte quietly gets the job done in Chicago. He never really seems to get any...
I think he had 100 catches, too.
Yeah. He never really gets any recognition for it, but he's beast mode out there.
Defensively...
Watt.
Yeah, everyone's going to say J.J. Watt. He did end up with more than 20 sacks, I believe.
See? And you say he's not a difference maker.
I didn't say that. All I said, I don't even remember what we were talking about.
We were
then.
arguing because I said we contained him, and you said that we did not.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because at that point, I mean, he wasn't getting he didn't even average a sack a game. He went on a tear the second half of the season, though.
Yeah, he averaged well over a sack a game.
Yeah,
if he
this
had 20
season.
sacks. So again, I was right.
You were dead wrong.
Well, I don't know. Big Ben, 67% completion percentage, 4,952 yards, 32 touchdowns, and 9 picks. Now, I'm not...
Most of that is Steelers records, too.
Yeah.
He was, tied for first in the league with Drew Brees with 4,952 yards, like you were saying.
I'm not going to always say stats get you the MVP, too, because sometimes it's who's most valuable to your team. You don't necessarily have to have the best stats. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, just look at who we said he was tied with, Drew Brees. He should not be considered at all.
Right, and he has beast numbers, but
Yeah.
his team was garbage. Your team, I also believe your team has to win. Maybe not make the playoffs because, you can hit a rut or something. If you were out, you know what I mean? Say you miss 3 games and your team loses those 3 games, and you miss the playoff by 1, but you win all but 1 game when you're in there. I think there's a rare occasion where something like that could get you in it.
I don't know. That's tough to say because if you miss 3 games, you're not really going to be considered anyways. You know what I mean?
I mean, if you play 13 games and go 12-1, but miss 3 games,
if you go 12-4 and miss the playoffs, I feel bad for you. Let me tell you.
It's going to happen one of these years with the way these divisions are set up now, with division winners getting it, over some of these 10-5 or 10-6 and 11-5 teams. There's going to be a 12-4 team that misses it.
That would be ridiculous. I'll wait for the day that happens.
All right. Well, give me 3 people right now before the playoffs start that you would consider for your MVP, your top 3. Doesn't have to be in order, just, the top 3 guys you would think are in the race.
I don't know. I'd say DeMarco Murray, Tom Brady, and I'd go Le'Veon Bell over Ben.
You're going to go Bell over Ben?
He's did so much for them this season. You need Le'Veon Bell.
So if Bruce Gradkowski was the quarterback of this offense with Le'Veon Bell at the running back position, we'd still be where we're at?
I didn't go that far.
But just answer the question, and then I got a follow-up question, and then you can make fun of me.
Okay. No, but answer this question.
Well, hold on. I got a follow-up question. So would the Steelers be where they were right now if they had Josh Harris at running back?
That was my question.
Or LeGarrette Blount instead of Le'Veon Bell?
No. I'm going no in both cases. Both of them are a huge reason why they only lost 5 games this season.
Which I said they would only lose 5 games.
Well, congratulations.
So you're saying, who'd you say, Murray, Brady, and Bell? I'm going to say Murray, even though I think more people will give consideration to Romo, but I hate him, so I will never.
It's a quarterback-driven league.
I'm going to say Murray, Rodgers, and Ben.
Murray, Rodgers, and Ben. Who would you go with out of those 3? It's not even a question.
Objectively or Yinzer Nation?
Objectively, obviously. I don't know. I think either Bell or Murray deserve it, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, I don't know. I have a feeling Aaron Rodgers is going to end up getting it somehow. The league loves Aaron Rodgers.
Discount double check.
Yeah, he's a garbage double check quarterback.
Pump you up.
Yeah, he's not really garbage, but I just hate him.
I don't hate him. The only thing I hate about him is that he beat the Pittsburgh Steelers in the Super Bowl.
And that's why I hate him.
It's not good enough reason.
Well, let's touch on something I mentioned a couple minutes ago, the sub-500 teams making playoffs. The Carolina Panthers are 7-8-1. They won their division, so they get a home game against the Arizona Cardinals, who had a much better record. Was it 11-5?
11-5.
11-5. And I'm not going to hate, really, because I like how the division winner gets the home playoff game. I think you deserve that. You work hard to win your division. It's not the rest of the Carolina Panthers' fault that the rest of their division's garbage and that 7-8-1 won the division.
Right.
But it does suck to have a record so much better than this other team, and you got to go to their house to play.
Yeah, we talked about this earlier in the season, and we really didn't touch on the home game aspect of it. We really were talking more about should they even be in the playoffs. And we all said, yes, they should definitely be in the playoffs. If you win your division, you have to be in the playoffs.
Yeah.
But the home game, I don't know. I can go both ways on that. I could see... Now, this is a bad example because I think Carolina is a better team than Arizona Cardinals right now, just because Arizona has a terrible quarterback.
We could strap Jeff Keel up and send him down there.
But in the long run, I wouldn't mind the 11-5 team getting a home game.
So the team with the better record should get the home game?
It wouldn't turn me off. I mean, they've changed so many rules in football. I don't think this one would matter nearly as much as some of the things they've already screwed up.
You really hate Roger Goodell.
I do.
I don't like giving the better record the home game. I think if you win the division, you worked hard for that division. You earned it. I understand that the other team won a lot of games and they earned their spot, but I still think you just go division. I just like the way it is. I like it the way it is. I don't really want any change. And from what I'm hearing, they're talking about even expanding the playoffs to another team next year.
No, that's terrible. I hate it.
It's too many playoff teams. Then you're really going to have sub-500 teams in the playoffs every year, not just a fluke year like this year.
Yeah. I think it's perfect in football right now. 6 teams. That's
right.
That's the perfect number. You don't want less, you don't want more. It's as simple as that.
You can't do play-in games like baseball can because you can't play 2 nights in a row. If you're going to do that, you have to add a whole new week to the season. Then you're talking about a whole new game check to players' salaries. They're going to want more money because they're going to have to play more games. Just adding a game changes so much more than people realize. And they're talking possibly adding 1 team to each side, AFC and NFC, and then there'll only be 1 team that gets a bye week, and all the other teams will play on Wild Card Weekend.
Well, listen, there's already problems with teams with bad records getting into the playoffs. We just mentioned it. The Carolina Panthers are under 500 and they're getting into the playoffs.
And so have a home game against an 11-5 team.
Now, let's add more teams to the playoffs so even more bad teams get in.
Yeah,
it makes
it's
no
ridiculous.
sense.
I don't like it.
Who would get in for the AFC? Someone like the Chargers or what? Houston, maybe KC?
Yeah, one of those teams would most
None of
likely
those
get
teams deserve to be in the playoffs at
Nope.
all.
Baltimore doesn't even deserve it.
You just be careful what you say, because by this time next week, we may be in a bad mood.
By this time next week, I'm going back down to throw another 100 on red at the roulette wheel.
Please believe I heard you won some money on roulette.
Believe that. $200 last night, Rivers Casino, all night long, baby.
And you spent it all, correct?
Please believe. Dropped $500 last night. Me and Easy representing the spread downtown.
Between the two of you, you almost spent $1,000.
Yeah. Easy's not as big of a spender as me. I'm a baller. What is this noise I keep hearing in the roof? Do we have a bird in our roof?
Yeah, it was tweeting earlier.
What was it tweeting? Were they funny?
You got to tweet him at
Tweet
bet
the bird.
_ Marlin Bird.
Bet _ the spreads / Marlin Bird. Hashtag.
Yes, there is a
New
bird,
Year's bird
in your ceiling, in the studio ceiling.
Well, I don't know what he's doing up there. Maybe he wants to make a guest spot on the show.
It sounded like it was dying. You may want to take it to the vet, man.
I'm not taking a bird to the vet.
You're responsible for all those in your household.
I'm responsible for my 3 dogs that are in my house.
Well, this poor bird's going to die up there because of you.
Why? How am I supposed to get it out? Punch a hole through my ceiling?
You could try.
I'm not He-Man.
I think I could punch a hole through that ceiling.
I don't think you could reach the ceiling, first of all.
What are you talking about?
I'm the only one that could reach the ceiling.
Big Easy can reach it. I can reach it.
Big Easy can't even stand up. If he does, he's probably going to shart himself.
He should be here right now.
He can't. He had too much to drink last night, and then we ate pizza and breadsticks at like 3 a.m. We found delivery at 3 a.m. It was amazing.
Was he dipping any of that food in some, what was it, vodka or something?
No, it was Crown Royal. We were not dipping in Crown. He actually drank no liquor last night. It was all beer. We were crushing Icy Light representing Pittsburgh.
That was probably a good idea.
And some old lady, not a hot stripper, it was some old lady. She was all over him, dude. It was so funny.
Gross.
Every time he came and sat down, one time she put her arms around him, and he thought it was a stripper, and his face like lit up a little bit. And he smiled, and he turned and looked, and it's this old butch-looking lady all wrapped up around him. I was laughing.
Did she
so
work
hard.
there?
No, she just was standing next to us, and she was hating on him for drinking Icy Light. And then she was trying to strike up the conversation. I think that was her to get to talk to him, because she wanted him bad.
And this was at a strip club.
At a strip club, yeah. It was so much fun.
Picking up women at a strip club that aren't strippers.
Yeah,
is pretty gross.
that's gangster right there, man. That's hardcore.
Fat old ladies, huh?
Her hair was ridiculous, man. It was all spiked up. It looked like she'd come straight out of 1988.
Well, I think you just said it right there. Let's see. You were at a strip club.
Believe it.
And there was a old lady with butch hair.
Yeah.
So, you sure she was straight?
Yeah, well, she might have been a little bi. There was a couple lesbians there. I was giving them dollars to throw in the air. I don't hate. I'll give anybody dollars at the strip club. I got a stack of 100 ones. Next thing I know, Easy's reaching over, stealing half my stack, throwing it in the air.
Any lap dances for you?
Oh, you better believe that. All night long.
Please believe. Did Easy get any?
He did not.
And I mean lap dances when I say get any.
He wussed out. I tried to buy him one. He wouldn't take it. I was about to give him a hundo to go back there.
You just pay for it, and then they force him back there.
Well, yeah, I guess I could have done that. He was the one girl he wanted I couldn't find.
Not good enough reason there, man.
Hey, I tried. If he wanted one, he's a big boy. He can get it himself.
No strip clubs for me. They're gross.
You love the strip club. I heard the last time you went, you were on stage, you ripped your shirt off, you were screaming. Security had to carry you out of there.
Yeah, dead wrong.
That's
Last time
right.
I went there, I walked
Moonwalking.
in and I looked right, and there was some guy sitting on a bar stool, and some lady walked up to him, some stripper, grabbed his hat and just rubbed it on her private area. Now, I just looked at Easy and I was like, we got to roll.
She just wanted him to remember it for all times.
Well, if she'd have done that to my hat, I'd have punched her in the face.
I would have laughed so hard if I seen that. Oh, man, it would have been good. The one time me and Easy went, there was a midget there, and it was a little strange. Maybe I should say little person. I don't want to offend anybody. It was rough. I don't know if I can handle that anymore.
Yeah, that sounds pretty gross, too. I don't know.
Do little people go watch regular-sized people at strip clubs, or do they have little people strip clubs?
Well, we're getting off subject here. We don't
we
really
should
have
get-
a subject, but
we
we're
could get
just
back
getting
to
off subject
sports.
of sports.
Oh, man.
What else we have going here?
The NFL playoff picture. Who do we got?
In the AFC, the Patriots and Denver have a bye, and then we have the 3-seed
Steelers.
Pittsburgh Steelers playing the 6-seed Baltimore Ravens.
Believe it.
And then we have the 4-seed Colts taking on the number 5.
Cincinnati Bengals. Losers. Cincinnati's garbage.
Cincinnati did look like garbage last week, but still 7-3 in their last 10 games. It's not looking bad. Plus, the Colts haven't looked too good recently. Even though they did win last week, but they got blown out by the Cowboys the week before that, and they didn't look good over the last quarter of the season.
I think these are all tough matchups. You know, all the playoff teams are pretty evenly matched.
I don't know. Cincinnati.
Carolina's only 7-8-1, but Cincinnati's choke artist. But as far as talent goes, they're pretty. If they were healthy, both teams, they'd be even with Indy. What I'm surprised about is the big line in the Dallas game, -6.5 or 7, depending on where you're looking, and the big line in the Carolina game. What is that, 6.5 or 7 also?
I think it was 6.5 the last we looked.
Playoff games are rarely have lines that big. In Baltimore and Pittsburgh, it's Pittsburgh 3, and Indy and Cincinnati, Indy's 3, 3.5 somewhere, depending on what you're looking. So, yeah, I'm surprised with those big lines, especially in the Detroit game. Dallas hasn't been that great at home.
Yeah, they've been much better on the road.
Detroit,
But yeah, Detroit just...
they don't give up a lot of points, so it's hard to beat them by 7. You're going to beat them, but you might not be able to beat them by 7.
Yeah, but between Tony Romo, Des Bryant, and DeMarco Murray, they pretty much have something like the Steelers have, a big trio, especially this season. Romo...
A trio of douches.
Yeah, I know you don't like them, but they've been doing it big this season. And really, Detroit's offense just hasn't got it done all season long.
I'm not sold on Dallas. I'm not sold on Cincinnati. Bleep Baltimore.
Well, who has a bye in the NFC?
Seattle and Green Bay.
Seattle and Green Bay. See, I think one of those two teams are going to be the representative of the NFC. Whereas I could see New England or Denver losing.
Well, the past 6 seasons in the playoffs, the Patriots' winning percentage is only a 44%. They're 4-6 in their last 10 postseason games. So that doesn't scare me about the Patriots at all.
Well, the last time they won their Super Bowl, after that,
They cheated?
They got caught cheating. That was actually Big Ben's first loss of his career.
Yeah, cheaters.
But yeah, since then they haven't won a Super Bowl. So what's that tell you? They haven't been as good in the playoffs, obviously, since then too. So I just believe they were a bunch of cheaters.
That's it. Well, who'd you take for your Super Bowl pick this year?
If I look now or when we picked earlier in the season?
What was your earlier in the season pick?
Yeah, when did we make these picks, by the way? It was what, week 6, maybe 7?
Somewhere around there, yeah.
I know nobody picked the Steelers, so they were probably when they were 3-3 or something,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But my pick was Indy versus Arizona. They are both still in it, but
Arizona
looking at it right now,
got no quarterback.
yeah, Arizona's almost definitely not making it. And Indy, I really don't like as much right now either. Earlier in the season, I thought they were the best team in the AFC.
Until the Steelers beat them down.
Yeah, they blew them out in that game. Actually, Indy went into that game on a 5-game winning streak, and that's when they were at their peak. And after that, they really slowed down. Who was your picks?
Denver and Dallas, I'm pretty sure.
Now that's a solid pick right there. I could see both of those teams in the Super Bowl.
Well, see, Pittsburgh's going to make it now, so I want to change mine from Denver to Pittsburgh. Is that allowed?
No, you're dead wrong. If that's happening, I'm definitely not keeping Indy or Arizona.
Well, that's not fair. Pittsburgh, I didn't think was going to make the playoffs whenever I made these picks.
I hear you. You should have picked them.
Yeah.
Stick
dark
your neck
horse.
out. Listen to Parlay, man.
Stick
your
my neck out and lose.
Easy had New England and Detroit. They're both still in it.
Still viable. I don't know about Detroit with their offense this year, but their defense is in it.
We'll see how they play against Dallas this week. If they come out and play a good game against them, I definitely could see it happening. The only problem is if they go into Green Bay, we know Green Bay takes care of business at home versus Detroit.
Believe it.
And then Johnny Parlay took Denver and New Orleans.
Wah, wah, wah.
He can be 50% right still.
Maybe.
New Orleans, they were looking like they were going to be the team to win that division not too long ago, but then they fell apart, especially in that game when they lost 41-10 against Carolina. And yeah, Carolina and Atlanta played for what? Their division in the last game.
Last week, the Saints just went home and cried like little girls.
And Atlanta doing the same thing. They look terrible.
That's why their coach got fired.
But yeah, I'd say right now, you probably have the best chance. Denver versus Dallas. I'd say Easy has the second best with New England versus Detroit, and then me, obviously, because Johnny Parlay's beat nuts.
So I predicted the Steelers to go 11-5. I was right. I got the most wins in the pick segment, so I won that.
No, you didn't win that.
And I'm the only one, well, not the only one, but I have the best chance to win the Super Bowl pick, so I'm just on a roll.
You have the best chance. That doesn't mean you won it.
Oh, I'm winning it. Although Pittsburgh's going to win, and I changed my pick to Pittsburgh, so that's all right.
No, that doesn't work like that.
Oh, I believe it does, my friend.
What else we have? Our picks of the week. Is that it?
Picks of the week.
I'm going to go with Indy versus Cincy. Cincy has a good run game. I don't like their passing game. Yeah, of course they have A.J. Green. He did practice today, but really, they're a choke job in the playoffs. Cincy cannot win in the playoffs. Yeah, Indy hasn't looked as good recently, but I still, Andrew Luck over Andy Dalton any day. It's a small line, -3. Indy's going to move on, and they're going to cover the line for sure.
You could chop off one of Andrew Luck's legs, chop one of his arms off, and sew his leg where his arm goes and his arm where his leg goes, and I'd still take him over Andy Dalton every single day of the week and twice on Tuesday.
Exactly. That's why it's my pick of the week. What's your pick of the week?
Pittsburgh.
Of course.
The Pittsburgh Steelers. What do you say, of course? Like I pick them every week.
The first chance you get, we don't do Steelers in the regular season, if you remember.
I do remember, considering I help run the show.
Slightly.
Sometimes. But the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to beat the Baltimore Ravens. Joe Flacco should be called Joe Garbage. I know he had that good run in the playoffs, whatever. I don't really care. It doesn't mean he's a great quarterback. They don't run the ball great. When they get it going, they're good, but I'm not really scared of their run game. Their pass defense is absolutely atrocious. Elodie Nada's back for the Ravens, so that might help them out. But Pittsburgh at home, Pittsburgh back in the playoffs, Pittsburgh back as division winners. The Steelers got the spread on their side, so I'm pretty sure we're going to win this football game.
Moving on to Denver.
Well, Dash, I want to thank you for filling in for Parlay this week, doing more work than you need to do. I know you're happy we're done with fantasy football.
Please believe.
I want to thank you fans for listening. You guys can follow us on Twitter at bet_the_spread. Check us out on Facebook. Subscribe to that YouTube channel and like those videos. Throw some comments. You like or hate it. Either way, we want to know it.
Peace.